You guys, I don't think it's a stretch by me at all to say that the Dallas Mavs were one of the hottest teams going into the 2022 playoffs. Well, at least they were until they ran into the worst situation possible, with Luka Doncic suffering a calf strain in the last game of the season, which in turn has sidelined him indefinitely. And with this happening, and in turn the Dallas Mavs being left with almost no star power to lead them into the playoffs, it's safe to say that many people did not know what to think of this team, and if they would even be able to put up a fight in the first round. Well, you guys, from just the small sample size that we have seen out of this series so far, it seems that the plan all along for the Dallas Mavs that almost nobody believed would actually work is in fact working to the T of what they expected, and what I mean by this, we'll dive into just a little bit further. One sec though guys, if you haven't yet, don't forget to like the video if you do enjoy, subscribe, and turn on those notifications to never miss another NBA video. Love you guys. And believe me, you guys, if you haven't yet, now is the perfect time to do so, because not only are we coming out with brand new playoff content almost every single day, but according to my numbers, over 95% of you guys coming back to watch the content haven't even subscribed yet. So for any of you that do, thank you so much. But anyway, like I mentioned, I don't think almost anybody was giving the Mavs a fair shot in this series, with Luka Doncic possibly being sidelined for the entire thing. Because to the majority of NBA fans, when you look at this Dallas Mavs roster outside of Luka Doncic, there is almost no one on this team that sticks out from the rest, at least when you're thinking of star power. Which, I mean, in today's world is seemingly brainwashed into the mind of everyone that an overload in this criteria is the only way you'll win a championship. And again, even with this team being one of the hottest rolling into the postseason, there were definitely still plenty of skeptics of this team. And the funny thing to me is that it seems like most of these skeptics were the same people that were not originally happy with the Kristaps Porzingis deal. Because even though it was getting more and more obvious that KP had to go, not only did it seem like a short return for what he might have actually been worth, but also, as most of you could have guessed, it had many people saying that the Mavs would not be able to do anything with just Luka at the front of the helm. Because even though Kristaps Porzingis wasn't necessarily a front of the line star, he was definitely considered more of one than Spencer Dinwiddie, especially at the time. But with a trade deadline move that only left pieces surrounding Luka in players like Spencer Dinwiddie, who was just acquired, and some other role players like Jalen Brunson, Maxi Kleber, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Dwight Powell, just to name a few, many people thought the Mavs not only made a gamble, but were also going to try to coast this year out and possibly add another star alongside Luka in the following season. But on the contrary, and I know we have discussed this in a video previously here on the channel, but it's safe to say now that the Dallas Mavs have always known exactly what they were doing, and their continued fighting in this series, even with Luka sidelined, only adds more to the point. Because for anyone who watched the Mavs over the course of this season, it really seemed that even though he did have some of his moments, Kristaps Porzingis was essentially throwing a wrench into the operation of this offense. And with some of the Mavs role players, the improvement is not just seen in the numbers since the Kristaps Porzingis deal, but it's also very clearly seen in the overall flow of the offense. And it's also very clearly working out for Luka as well, as he is putting up some of the best numbers in his entire career since this trade. And of course, with overall individual improvement will typically come team improvement as well, as the Mavs finished the season with a very impressive 19-6 record, which compared to their overall record as well as what we've seen from them in the postseason so far, really just shows the impact of this team transformation. And also, I think a lot of people need to realize that with the graphic we showed previously of some of the Mavs' key role players on the team, is that these guys are so much better than most people originally anticipate, and that any one of these guys can step up on any given night and be the star depending on the situation. I mean, literally all you have to do for reference is look at what we've seen out of this team in the postseason thus far. Jalen Brunson has looked like one of the best point guards in the entire NBA, which in turn is going to lead to him getting a massive payday this offseason. But for another example, you have Maxi Kleber stepping up and looking like he's the long-lost Splash Brother. And again, I know it's a small sample size, I'm working with what we've got out of the postseason so far, but as this series continues, and this will depend on the percent Luka is at if and when he does come back, I feel like we're just going to continue to see these Mavs role players switch off in terms of who is taking over the game on any given night. But even though they do seem to be in a better situation in this series right now than many people thought, the question still remains as to how far this team would actually be able to go if they were fully healthy. Because I do think the majority of people were selecting the Mavs to make it out of this first round series even before Luka's calf strain was made public. But now I am extremely confident in saying that I think the Mavs will make it out of this series even if Luka does not return for the entirety of it. And honestly, depending on how the remainder of the series goes, this might be something they want to consider for the greater good, because we all know the Suns will likely coast their way into the second round and will be waiting for the winner of this series. And Mavs fans, I do know what we're seeing without Luka right now in this team is definitely a positive, but I can say with 100% certainty that a fully healthy Luka will be an absolute necessity for the Mavs to possibly get into the conference finals. And I also think that many people wouldn't even give a fully healthy Mavs team a chance against a team in a 7-game series like the Phoenix Suns. But with what we've seen, everything we've mentioned, and what the Mavs have continued to do since their transformation, all I'm trying to say is don't be surprised if they make a deeper run or put up a better fight than you originally expected. But again, you guys, this style of more of a discussion type of video is what we're going to be producing a ton more as the playoffs are here. And with these kind of videos, of course, my favorite part is hearing what you guys have to think. So please let me know in the comments, do you think the Mavs could win this series if Luka does not return until the second round? And also, if and when Luka does return, how far could you possibly see the Mavs going in the 2022 playoffs? But also guys, again, if you haven't yet, don't forget to go down below and leave a like on the video if you did enjoy, and of course, subscribe while you're down there. Like we said, with the playoffs finally here, we're coming out with brand new NBA content almost every single day. So trust me, and I cannot say it enough, you guys do not want to miss out. But also, I just wanted to say thank you so much to each and every one of you for watching. I appreciate you guys more than anything, you all know this, and I will see you guys in the next video.